senior writer for RealTime Fantasy Sports. Welcome to another edition of the RealTime Fantasy Sports Show. On today's show, I'm going to give you my 5 waiver wire ads for Week 11 of the fantasy football season. Hopefully you had a lot of success in Week 10. It's another little bit of an uneven week of scoring in Week 10. We did have some big fantasy performances, including Patrick Mahomes' 5-touchdown performance last night. But we also had some duds of games. Some offenses really got held in check, and we had some poor performances as well. So scores were kind of all over the map. Hopefully you were on top of things in Week 10 and pulled out a victory with some of those big performances. Hopefully you had Patrick Mahomes on your team. He sure looked great in that game Sunday night. All right, now here's 5 waiver wire ads for this week. My first one is a quarterback as well. It's Cam Newton of the Carolina Panthers. He just signed with the Panthers last week, got in a handful of plays in Week 10, scored 2 touchdowns in his limited work. He looked good, showed his potential as the starter in Carolina. He should start Week 11 and going forward. They want to see what they have with Newton. It's kind of an audition going forward as the possible starter for Carolina and moves back with his old team. He was an MVP with Carolina in the past. We know he has potential in this offense. It's a very good offense. It's just how much does he have left in the tank? That's a big question. I'm not 100% certain he's going to come in and do great things, but I think he definitely is worth a speculative ad for any fantasy teams needing a quarterback. He certainly has potential in an offense that has a lot of very good offensive weapons. My next waiver wire ad is Titans running back Deonta Forman. Forman actually had the most carries for the Titans last week, ran 11 times for 30 yards, caught 2 passes for 48 yards, giving him 78 total yards in the game. He has 16 carries in 2 games since joining the Titans. I think he's a back to own right now in Tennessee. I know Adrian Peterson is there, but he has not looked very good in my opinion. I think Foreman's the better of the backs right now, and I think his playing time could actually increase going forward, and he's still available in 88% of leagues on our site. My next waiver wire ad is Patriots receiver Kendrick Bourne. Bourne had his biggest receiving game of the season last week, caught 4 passes for 98 yards and a touchdown, also ran 3 times for 43 yards, giving him 141 total yards in the game. He has double-digit fantasy points 5 of 10 games, so he's had some big games along the way. The Patriots offense is really hitting its stride right now. I think that bodes well for Bourne going forward, and he's available in 63% of leagues on our site. My next waiver wire ad is a guy I've said the last few weeks on this show and in my column, my waiver wire column, and that's Jaguars tight end Dan Arnold. He keeps getting picked up a little bit in leagues, but not all of them. He's still available in more than 50% of leagues on our site, 51% to be exact, but he just keeps making plays in the Jags passing game, and I think this is going to be a trend going forward. I don't think it's a fluke. He has double-digit fantasy points 3 or 4 games. He's producing like a low-end number 1 fantasy tight end, and I think he's definitely worth adding for any team that needs help at that tight end position. And my last waiver wire ad's another Jaguar, and that's Jamal Agnew, the receiver for Jacksonville. He's getting a lot more attention in this offense. He has double-digit fantasy points 4 of 5 games. He didn't catch a pass last week, but he did it on the ground. He ran 3 times for 79 yards and a score, showed his big play potential. He's getting weekly chances. I think he has legit value for fantasy teams right now. The numbers don't lie. Double-digit fantasy points 4 or 5 games. All right, those are my 5 waiver wire ads for Week 11 of the fantasy football season. Good luck in navigating that waiver wire this week. Hopefully you get all the players you are hoping to add to your roster. This has been Jeff Paur for RealTime Fantasy Sports. Have a great day.